Taffy, bye.
Welcome again, friends and family, to another episode of Tea Inspired. Today, our topic will be the company you keep. Now, let's go straight into the discussion. Let's use school, for example. When we're going to school, nations, different communities, everybody come together to be educated and to educate. So we can't left out the teachers. Big up on yourself. Say you have 100 students in that school. Most of them will be our schoolmates because we don't really know them. Even persons in our class, some will just be our classmates because we don't choose to hang out with them. So the company we keep becomes the defining factor of who we are, because it's by choice. For example, if you're a bookworm, you're going to stick with persons who like to study. If you love football and them stuff, you're going to stick with those persons who have similar interests. And I'm saying that to say that our company that we keep is in general by choice. Now, back in the days, bad company would have been any group of person, or even that one single dege person who your parents don't want you to hang around with for obvious reasons. Them a bad company. Probably I do some foolishness. And you know to listen to your parents, man. The Bible helps us to identify bad company and to avoid them. That kind of sound like something my parents would do still. Now, the reason why God does this is because He knows that bad company will affect us in a negative way. Yeah, it will. Yeah, don't matter how good you are. So let's see what the Bible has to say about our choice based on the company that we keep. 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 33 help us to identify what might be bad company. Just one of the characters. It says, be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners. The NIV version says, be not misled. Don't be deceived. Don't be fooled. Bad company corrupt good character. Let me say this. If you are hanging out with a person who every time you hear about the bad things that they do, the bad things that they want to do, the bad things that they want you to do together, or they just want you to do bad things overall, maybe you're part of bad company, without a doubt. So the Bible is teaching us that one of the ways to identify that it's bad company is based on how they speak. What are the things that they talk about? Listen for that. Our Father in heaven does not want us to hang with bad company because He knows that it can affect us in a negative way, and it can even cause us to become bad company as well. Let's use the apple scenario, for example. You see, one bad apple spoil the bunch. It is without a doubt true that if there's an apple in the batch that is rotting, if it stays there too long, it will eventually spread its rotten behavior across the whole batch. Evil communication. And look here, God values a good name, and He wants us to do the same. Proverbs 22 and verse 1 tells us that a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Your good name important, so don't ruin it by hanging out with bad company. So far, it can cost you a good name, your character. Let's see what else. Psalms 1 and verse 1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. No. If you are a person who will get upset quick, and you're probably a priest, say, oh, so man I sin and I go on like say nobody no fit par with where that when I go on like say on no born in a church. I'm telling you, me better than no found no go up there say no go to church now. No what I'm telling you. Yo, first of all, in the voice of Dan Pat, relax. And two, the Bible is not saying that. So I am not saying that. And three, God knows that it will be like that. So you know what He did? In that same chapter, same verse, the very next line, you know what He said? He said, nor standeth in the way of sinners, which means that there's a difference. No, the easiest way I can explain it, how I understand, is this. An ungodly person, a kind of one person who knows God, but he not care for Him. A badness, Mr. Man, where God I go? A sinner is a person who respect God on a level. To the point, he want to serve Him, but he had the plan B for now. Yeah, that's a kind of how one sinner operates. So when I talk about a person who doesn't care for God any at all, is most likely a person who you're going to get in a trouble hanging around with. They can cause you a good name and cause you a blessing. And we don't want that. Watch it. King Jehoshaphat. Now, King Jehoshaphat was a good king. He loved God. He did the things concerning God that pleased God. And he was prospering. God was fighting battles on his behalf. King Jehoshaphat was a good king. and he served God, get rid of the idols and all them things, right? He was doing well until he linked up with a brother, a next king named Ahaziah, right? Now, Ahaziah was known to do wickedly, the wicked man, bad man. You could classify him as an ungodly man. Jehoshaphat linked up with this king because he wanted to make some ships, right? Now they ended up making the ships, but you know what happened? Because Jehoshaphat was in league with this man, God destroyed the ships. God took away the blessing that Jehoshaphat had. So not only can it cost you a blessing you're supposed to get, it can cost you a blessing you already have, along with your good character. So God, our Heavenly Father, cares for our well-being. That is why He's saying, link with the right company. That story can be found in 2nd Chronicles, chapter 20, verses 35 to 37. Let's look at another one. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 24. It says, we should make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go. Lest thou learn his ways, and get a snare to thy soul. Wow. Soul come into play, you know. So maybe you know somebody who angry, somebody who always want fight, unreasonable. You know what can happen scenario? You go to a road, you see, with a person like that. You inside that one place. Next thing you hear commotion. When you go to the door, at that the person, somebody look at him wrong. You ever hear the term wrong place, wrong time? Now you have to end up in a one fight because all of a sudden you're a gang member and you get hurt just because you're a par with him. So the Bible is telling us not to do this because you can learn new ways. You can see how much God cares. He cares for your blessing. He cares for your well-being, your character, how people see you. He cares for your soul. And he's saying, listen, bad company can cost you all of these things. So check yourself. What do you want for you? How do you want God to see you? How do you want the people around your community to see you? Do you want to be a good influence or a bad influence? Life in general is about choices, as we can see. And we have to keep making choices when we decide to do the right thing. We have to continue to make the choice to do the right thing. One of these things is choosing to avoid bad company. So, what does bad company look like in the church? And hold on. Let me say this. Humans are the only source of bad company that I know. You never hear say one sheep and one goat, so them a go down the road, go do some bad thing. They just do what they're put on the earth to do. They eat grass, they get fat, they get yam, jerk, curry, whatever. Us humans always that. So we are the only bad company that I know. So yes, bad company can be found in the church. It is harder to see that a person is bad company in the church. So it's better if we go back to listen to how they speak. Those are the persons who might be telling you that God we understand. Like, you forgive him for that? No, wouldn't forgive him. Yo, may I put on my Bible and mash him up? God we understand. Those kind of things. Watch out for those things. Are they telling you to do little portions of sin, full of things? Like it won't harm you. Bad company within the church. Match up their behavior with the Bible. Match their words with the Bible, their intentions with the Bible. And if it doesn't line up, pray for them. Correct them in love because you need to. But don't become a part of the behavior. Because remember, everybody goes to church. Just saying. And I'm just saying, and I'm going to leave it at that. Right. Now that you know, walk saved, stay saved, and if you're not saved, you know the lick. Taffy, bye.